Rebellions are built on hope.
And welcome to another episode of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. I'm your host, Alberto Calderon, and thank you for joining us on another Star Wars Saturday as we're here live talking with you guys about that franchise that we know and we love so much, Star Wars, which is approaching May 4th next week, which of course falls on a Saturday, which is our day to be here live with you guys. So next week is going to be a great one. The Bad Batch finale, Tales of the Empire comes out that same day. Phantom Menace is going to be in the theaters. And I want to hear from you guys. I'll post it later on Twitter, but I want to hear from you guys. What are you doing May 4th? What are some of your May 4th traditions? Let us know. We'll discuss them live here on our show next week when Oti returns to join us in the co-host chair. But for right now, thank you to everyone that's watching us out there today live. Thanks for being here. Make sure you're subscribed to our show so you don't miss any of the new episodes where they drop. And make sure you give us a like, hit that thumbs up button, and comment down below if you're watching this later on the replay. All your theories and hopes and dreams for the Bad Batch finale next week. Let us know. And of course, if you're listening to us on the audio podcast, also thank you very much for following us over there. Give us those 5-star ratings and review, which we always love to see and help us grow and keep expanding. But we're here today to talk about episode 14 on the Bad Batch, and we'll get there in a minute. Our friend Dale is here, Skywalker Academy. He's watching multiple live streams, predicting next week's episode, and that's what we'll be doing here. And our friend Brennan, as always, hello there, Brennan. And we'll be with Brennan next week. We'll finally sit back down on his show, Page Turners That Were Not, talk about Star Wars, and then when he releases that a couple of days later, make sure to listen to it. That was fun times when we get to chat with Brennan, so make sure to check that out next week. But for today, let's go ahead and start. There's not a lot going on Star Wars wise. Everything is very Bad Batch centered. I know a new kind of clip came out for Tales of the Empire with Grievous. I haven't watched this. I just want to go fresh to it. And a quick 30-second spot for Star Wars Korea, I think, posted it about the Acolyte. 1 or 2 new images showed up, and a Modian kind of popped up looking very Phantom Menace-like, very prequel-like. So can't wait to get to that when, excuse me, when the Acolyte drops in a couple of weeks, or a couple of months, actually. But for right now, we're going straight to the Bad Batch. So let's go to Star Wars on TV. Star Wars on TV. All right, let me get some water first before we start. A lot of times when it's just myself, I forget to drink water. I don't have a lot of time to it. When Oti's here, he's spouting all his nonsense. I'll stop, take a drink, kind of not pay attention to what he's saying. But right now, by myself, I just gotta keep talking. So I gotta take a couple of minutes and drink my water, of course. We always listen to Otis. Great insight. All right, so episode 14 of the Bad Batch Season 3, Flash Strike, the penultimate episode before the finale next week. We keep saying it here every week. It just keeps getting, maybe not better and better, but every episode is just top notch. It's A+, never goes down. And this was another great episode. It continued right from where we left last week. We kind of talked here that we thought as soon as they got into Tantiss, they'll have to separate from that transporter, which they were attached to, and make their way to the base. And that's basically what we saw there. Like it's been the last couple of weeks, we got what the Bad Batch is doing, trying to get closer to Tantiss and to Omega. And then Omega, of course, in the vault with the other Force-sensitive kids, trying to figure a way to get out of there and escape. But they remind us very quickly that poor Echo is still stuck inside that Imperial transport. Echo, I want to applaud you. Thank you for doing what I said last week and stealing a Stormtrooper uniform and continuing this great Star Wars tradition of people infiltrating Imperial bases or ships and quickly stealing a stormtrooper armor. So here we go. You stole one and stole the arm of that poor droid that you shot. Great comedic moment, of course. But it helps because I mentioned last week he's walking around that space station missing an arm and no one said anything. Here he went, he got himself a droid arm, put it on. No one's the wiser until the end when Emery Carr sees him unplugging his hand from that terminal. But we'll get to that in a minute. So like I mentioned, as soon as they disconnect from that transport, they are engaged. Sorry, before that, one of the clone commandos tells Rampart, hey, they saw Clone Force 99 in the in the space station, and that's, hey, sound the alarm, be ready as soon as that transport comes in. I want to check from top to bottom, and as soon as they disengage from the ship, some other starship just engage them, and we get a great firefight up there in the skies above Mount Tantiss. Freaking Hunter does a great move, throwing the ship backwards to destroy some of the other shuttles. And we get poor Rampart getting pushed around by everyone, which, I mean, Rampart has been a standout. He's been a high point these last 3 episodes, bringing that comedic note and comedic beats. Has great timing. The writers, you gotta give it up for the writers and the voice actors. Rampart's just been killing it. If you want, this is a very serious show, especially these past few episodes are very serious. But I love they still take the time to do those comedic beats. Again, it's geared toward a younger crowd, so you gotta keep them engaged in that sense. And also for guys like us, or fans like us, I should say, that love also the weird, stupid stuff in Star Wars. And everything with Rampart is just some stupid, weird, great, funny moments. Even when you get a little bit of a serious conversation between him and Crosshair, when they're talking about who's betraying who and why you helping. I thought you as good soldiers follow order. And it's like, yeah, I've changed. Oh, well, we'll see by the end or something. So it's still kind of those, kind of putting that little nudge there that there's still some, not confusion, but people are still not 100% sure where Crosshair is going to fall. Which, again, I think they kind of peppering this in little by little because it's going to come into play by the finale. But again, I just love Rampart. He gets pushed around when they get down to that jungle. Everyone just pushing, like, keep moving, dude, just keep moving. But what everyone's been talking, I haven't had it on my nose since when I watched this. When they rappel down, just screaming like a little girl. Sorry to all the little girls out there that get, now it's going to be you scream like Rampart. But I love that. Again, he's an Imperial officer. He has no business being in the middle of an invasion, on an incursion, I should say. So of course that's how he's going to react. It's incredibly fun, kind of that fish out of water. And then very funny scene when Crosshair and Wrecker team up again with Hunter. Oh, did Rampart make it? Unfortunately. And, oh, I'm right here. Unfortunately, yes. So again, great delivery. They know they need him, but they really don't care if he survives or not. And then again, that's when he keeps getting pushed back and forth. But then we cut to inside Mount Tantiss, so the alarms are blaring. They kind of stop. They haven't gone to the kids to take their blood samples. What's going on? And Omega drops a great line. Oh, they found me. Who? My brothers. If this was the movie theaters, everyone would be up on their chairs just screaming and clapping. Yeah, your brothers found you. So I love that. Been saying it week after week after week. This is Omega's show, her growth from just this little clone that they met in season 1 to now she kind of building her own Bad Batch, right? With those kids. She's the leader now. She'll find out what each one of them is good at. She already had them. Hey, I gotta go see what's going on. I'm gonna get into this panel. Guys, just cover for me. And they're all making up little stories. I feel sick. I'm still hungry. I need this. I need that. Just to keep the other scientists kind of off her trail. But it just keeps bringing up Omega as she still has this, not just childlike qualities, but very innocent. And then she is now this leader that can take charge at any moment. We've seen it working with Crosshair, just escaping that first time, and now taking these other, I will just call them force kids, kind of under her wing, and hey, I got a plan. And that's of course at the end when she finds the Silo Beast. I think I got a plan. You guys are gonna help me, and we're gonna get out of here. Again, she's building her own little Bad Batch group to get out as her brothers are coming in to rescue her. So very fun scene outside in the jungles of Tantiss. We know that there are weird creatures. Where's Batcher when you need her? It had been a couple of weeks since we got a Monster of the Week. We got in like 2 or 3 straight episodes. And then here we get this weird owl space bear just attacking them. And Rampart's about to just bolts and just goes running. And this is after stormtroopers are looking for them. Kind of funny that they say, no, don't shoot because the blaster noise is going to alert the stormtroopers. But this creature is just screaming at the top of its lungs, just making noise, batting all the Bad Batch into every tree. Everything's breaking. And the stormtroopers won't hear anything. One blaster shot. But anyway, they find out because Rampart just kept running. And he ran into one of the Imperial troopers. They found her. And kind of just hell breaks loose. On his end, like I mentioned, Echo gets his stormtrooper armor, gets the hand from the droid. He's able to plug into the terminal, see how to get out of the ship and into Mount Tantiss. But of course, he gets interrupted, I should say, by Emery Carr. I'm going a little bit ahead, but we'll finish with Echo. Emery Carr notices, sees him unplugging because his hand gets stuck. And he's, oh, you're Echo. Omega's mentioned you talked a lot about you. And she, oh, Emery Carr, we've heard also about you. How can you be doing this? And where's Omega? Oh, she's with the other, in the vault with the other children. Hey, there are more children here. So it's like, again, I'm just, why? Why are you working in this place where they're testing and keeping children sequestered? I was only doing my job with, oh man, that's some of the worst things that you hear out there. I was just doing my job. Why didn't you stand up and say something? I was only doing my job. And I posted, she's one of these people that when something bad happens, I don't know, I just work here. That's her. And that's, even though I know she'll be redeemed and she'll help at the end, she'll help next week, and everyone's going to be, yay, Emery Carr. This character, man, you've had every chance to do something and to now play dumb, like, oh, I didn't know how bad things were. No, you don't get a pass in my book, but we'll see. Oh, like I mentioned, Echo went up the tube to infiltrate the ship, and then out the tube, he got pooped out the tube just to get into Mount Tantiss and out the ship, out the transporter, so they didn't see him. So yeah, poor Echo is just being sucked in and out of that droid tube again. So for Omega, we saw her going up the hatch, up the little wall panel, just following all the samples going in and out, trying to figure a way out. And she comes into this big tank. Who's there? The Silo base. He was captured back in season 1 or season 2. I know season 2 is the last time that it's mentioned that the Silo base was taken to Mount Tantiss. And we finally see it. I know a lot of people have been waiting for the Silo base to wreck shop. This is one thing that animation does constantly. And some people sometimes start throwing the plot holes and things like that, and that notion, oh, where's the Silo base? We haven't heard about the Silo base in a whole season. They just took the Silo base for no reason. Now here it is. We just waited till the end. Here's the Silo base, and of course it's gonna play a big part towards the finale, and we'll talk more about that at the end as we do some of our speculations for next week's episode. But then she makes it back as the poor kids are trying to figure out how to stall the scientist. But yeah, just tell them, hey, I found something, I got a plan, and I'm going to need your help to get out of here. So next week is going to be a good one for Omega. So yeah, she found something big, I should say. I found something big, and I have a plan. So again, it was a not short episode, a regular episode, action-packed, not a lot to kind of dissect. We're not going to be here 45 minutes talking about that episode. But it's a great setup for the finale. It's the Bad Batch make it to Tantiss. They were confronted. Everyone knows that they're there, but they're able to kind of get away. Now, I think the Stormtroopers found them. I watched it on Wednesday. I forgot all the ending, how that part kind of played out. I think they get. I can't remember. Sure, I'm gonna leave it there. If you're in the chat, just let me know how did it end for the Bad Batch that episode. But Rampart's there just being fun as hell, just yelling like a crazy person. Omega has her plan ready. Echo made it inside the base, which is and already got connected to the systems, which is something that we discussed last week. How are who's the cavalry that's coming? How is Rex gonna get all this stuff? Will it be Wolf that tells Rex how to get to Mount Tantiss? But now that Echo is there, he connected to the system. I'm sure he will be able to then relay some coordinates to Rex and some of the other clones outside of Mount Tantiss to come help. So we'll see how that plays out next week. And the Silo Beast. All right, so let's talk about next week, because everything now is just let's talk about next week. What's going to happen? And Crosshair, I love Crosshair. I think there's something, I don't know. His hand is going to get another shot to use that hand, pun intended with the shot. But let's talk about the finale. So let's talk about the Silo Beast first. Finally got the Silo Beast back. A lot of people think, or want, I should say, that Silo Beast to be the one to kill Rampart. I don't think it's going to go that route. I think the Silo Beast, pretty obvious, it's just going to wreck shop. It's going to destroy the Mount Tantiss, or at least the scientific base that they have. It's going to be destroyed by the Silo Beast. I'm guessing they might have some other creatures there that get released by all the chaos, and they're just going to destroy everything. Maybe they use it to kill Rampart, but I doubt it. One thing I saw someone post I think yesterday online was in that Ventress episode where she connects with this big aquatic creature, kind of just putting her hand on its beak and calming it down and letting the creature release her. That Omega's gonna use that same technique to, I don't want to say control, but to connect with the Silo Beast and then kind of help their escape, which it connects the people that do all these Star Wars series. They plant seeds, then they'll grow later by the end of the season. And I think with this being the last season, it just works great. Omega saw how Ventress connected to this creature. She might not be extremely force sensitive, but she might be able to learn that lesson. And now she'll apply it to connect with the Silo Beast to help them escape. I think that's probably a great idea by this fan. I think it makes sense. I need to connect everything that we've learned throughout the season, and it'll be a cool scene. Again, Rampart, I think he'll meet another fate. We'll talk about that. We'll be our last one, but you know where I fall. The kids using the Force, I think we're finally gonna see those kids use the Force just to push some people out of the way. Again, might be Omega telling them to kind of let go, kind of relax, take a breath, let go, and then just use your feelings and push everyone out of the way. I think we're gonna see that. Emery Carr, this is where I think she'll be redeemed. Probably she'll have to do something to that other science technician that's there. I forgot her name. She got a weird kind of evil name. I think she'll be the one to help them escape, help the kids escape, at least the Force kids. And then she'll take them to a shuttle or something, and then Omega's going to head back to go find the Bad Batch, to go help release the other clones. They'll give her that choice. Hey, we're here. We got a ship or we got a shuttle. Let's just leave. And she'll be like, you guys leave. I still got stuff to do. And she'll go back to help the Bad Batch, help the other clones. I think that's maybe how it plays with Emery Carr helping those Force-sensitive kids get out of Tantiss. And the big thing, CX2, we keep talking who's this special clone, this operative. Is it? I got one episode left for this to be Tech we mentioned it last week, our friend Buck, which again, happy birthday, Buck. Last couple of days. Hope you're feeling well. That might be too late for a tech reveal. I kind of agree, but still holding out hope. Less 1% that he's there, just in case he shows up. I can say yes, I never lost hope, but again, I won't be mad if it doesn't happen. But I think we'll have CX2, those commandos, clones or commando troopers, and then we know there are other CX clones, other operatives, because about 2 episodes ago, Rampart is saying, "Oh, the other operatives are not ready. CX2, I need you to go find Omega," and that's when we got that episode on Pabu. So I think we're gonna see more of them, and maybe that's when we get the reveal of who CX2 is. Is it tech? Is it a clone of Crosshair? And then we get that confrontation of, can we really trust Crosshair or not? Maybe we have CX2 versus Crosshair round 2, and again, his kind of trigger finger all shaky. We'll see if that comes into play. But I think all that, I mean, obviously, if it's going to be revealed, it's going to be revealed next week. But I think those like CX2, the other operatives from the commando will obviously engage the Bad Batch. I don't think you can have Rampart there, but Rampart's more the scientific side and trying to protect Necromancer and all the Palpatine clones, which hopefully we'll see them. I want to see those pickled Palpatines or pickle Snoke in the little jars. I want to see them. And then, while the cavalry arrives, I'm guessing they get caught. And then the cavalry arrives. Who's the cavalry? Last week I kind of mentioned maybe the cavalry is just Wrecker, Crosshair, and Echo. But Echo's on his end doing something. I think, again, he'll be the one to reach out to, let's say, Rex and Wolf, or who else. Or I don't know who else he might reach out to, at least Rex. And then the cavalry arrives. Everyone kind of comes to the aid. And then we get what we've been wanting, I guess, since the show began, but we've really been talking about it this season, is this clone rebellion, right? How are they going to, all those clones, escape on Tantiss? We know there's a bunch of clones there. They get tested every week or every day. They need someone, which, again, can be Echo. Echo can have that, I forgot his name, but this Andor moment, right? The Narkina 5 moment, getting to the communication system and then just blaring out this message of, hey, we're all together, we're all clone brothers, we gotta rise up and get out of here. Maybe Echo has that moment and gets everyone kind of riled up, and then we get Rex with everyone else coming in to help, and we had a big battle out there. So that'll be pretty cool to see, and pretty great. So any deaths? What do you guys think? I keep asking. Do you think any of the Bad Batch are going to die? Are they Hunter, Crosshair, Wrecker, or Echo? We got 4 left, not counting Tech, my boy. Omega, she's safe. Omega, nothing will happen to Omega. Maybe she get some cuts and bruises. She's not dying. Nothing bad is going to happen to Omega. I mean, nothing bad to that extent. I keep saying, I think Hunter and Crosshair are the ones more likely to give us that scare. So if someone's going to be in the precipice of dying, I think it's Crosshair or Hunter. Hunter, of course, has been Omega's pseudo father since that first season. And we see it a lot this back half of the season, of season 3 also, how concerned he is about her and everything he's doing just to get her back. Plus, he's the leader of the Bad Batch, so if someone's going to be in that kind of, is he or won't he die, I think Hunter's the first one to kind of jump up the rankings, followed by close by Crosshair, because he's had the big arc since the end of last season. We saw all the time he spent with Omega at the beginning of this season. He's carrying a lot of baggage, not just for everything that he did leading up to this season, but then just escaping Tantiss, not really being open about what was being done there, how to get back. We keep hearing, why didn't you tell us we could talk to Rampart to get here? Why didn't you tell us we needed to go? Oh, I really didn't plan on coming back. And Wrecker saying, hey, it's a lot easier breaking in than breaking out. Yeah, I really didn't want to do any of those. So I think he was the second one really close to Hunter. has gone through this whole arc that might end in death. But if I have to pull all my chips into if is Tech alive or will any of the other Bad Batch die or stay alive, I'm pushing everything to. I think the rest of the batch is gonna be safe. I really don't think that anyone is dying by the end of this season, by the end of next episode, I guess, which is the end of the series. I know with every post that the creators make, people start going nuts and they assume the worst. They say, oh, it's going to be a bittersweet ending. Again, it's the end of the series. Of course, it's going to be bittersweet. So I don't think that this means that someone's going to die. Maybe. Again, I don't think so. I really hope not. These people deserve to live happily ever after. I don't need another show with Omega. I think I mentioned it next week. Let them rest. Omega's been in this war. She's still like 13 years old. She's a very young child. She doesn't need to keep fighting. Oh, let her go to Ventress and start the path. She doesn't need to do that. She can just be a child, be a kid, go to Pabu, have fun with the mayor's daughter. I don't remember her name. Just be kids. If in 5 or 6 years you want to bring her back and now she's old enough to go do something, that's fine. Let the Bad Batch, let Omega find Batcher. Where's Batcher, right? Someone's got to be taking care of Batcher. We got to get that reunion. Just let them be safe. That's what I really want for all of them. So I think everyone survives. I really want that. Hemlock and Project Necromancer's fate. We've been saying this since like week 3. I think Project Necromancer is going to suffer a big blow. Emperor's not going to be happy. Probably he makes Hemlock maybe makes it out of Tantiss, and then when the Emperor reaches out, it's like, sorry, dude, you killed all my Pickle clones. Now you're dead. So again, I think that Vader makes sense to me. If it's the Emperor, will be extremely fun. But I think Vader makes more sense. Just let's bring Vader to see how evil he is right now. And I think that's how Hemlock makes its face. And maybe we'll get a shot as the Silo Beast is destroying all the labs, the vault, and can't remember where the Project Necromancer is held. But just destroys everything in there, and we get a couple of shots of those pickle jars just rolling down the hill, getting destroyed. Then all the creatures just eating Palpatine and becoming super Palpatine creatures. No, that's too much. Well, yeah, I think that's how Hemlock kind of meets his end. I don't think Omega will obviously not kill him. Well, I saw someone posting that Omega is going to be riding the Silo Beast like Boba Fett riding the Rancor. It will be extremely great Star Wars visual. I don't think she'll be there to have the Silo Beast eat Hemlock. If someone from the Bad Batch is going to kill him, it's going to be Crosshair. But again, it doesn't. I don't think that kind of plays with what's going on. I think Crosshair is more of a mental state with his brothers and the other clones. That's how that's going to play out. I don't know what's going to happen with Rampart. That's a big one. Rampart's there. I don't think he's dying. Maybe. If Crosshair kills someone, it'll be Rampart. But with all the screen time that we're getting with Rampart and how funny he's been, this comedic element to the show, I don't think he's going to die. At least not by one of the Bad Batch. I don't think any of them is really going to shoot down Rampart. Unless he really betrays them at some point. But I don't see it. I don't see them doing that. At this point in their career, so to say, I don't see them doing that. Just give me Vader. Give me Vader killing Hemlock at the end, and Rampart just, hey, I'm done with this crap. Can I go to Pabu with you guys? No, but go do something else. Just live your life somewhere else. So yeah, guys, let me know either now in the chat, down in the comments, on Twitter, wherever. Just let me know some of your speculations for the finale. What would you like to see? Who's going to make it out alive? Will all of them make it? Will some of them not? Do you think the kids are using the Force at any point to escape? What's going to be Rampart's fate? Is going to be killed by someone there on Tantiss already? Will it be the Emperor? Will it be Vader? Inquisitor comes in and kills him. We get all quizzy. the Grand Inquisitor, which again, I don't know where everything stands at this point in terms of timelines. I gotta think for a minute. But yeah, just let me know. Let me know your thoughts. One more week, I'll say it again next week. I'll say it through social media. I can't believe how far this show has gone in taking me on this ride where I really wasn't the biggest fan of it. And now I'm locked in. And I'm really invested in all the characters. I'm going to be emotionally sore by the end of next week. Hopefully no one again missed that end. But yeah, I've been extremely surprised with this season. It's been on point since the beginning. Maybe miss some of the one-off episodes, like that racing episode last season. I really love, even though it really didn't push nothing with the story, but I really enjoyed that one. We didn't get a lot of those this time, but that's fine. When you 15 episodes, which is one less than the previous 2 seasons, and you gotta wrap things up. There's a lot to wrap up, so they were very focused on what they were trying to do this year. I think they nailed it. Week after week, it was on point, pushing the story forward, pushing the characters forward, and for me, everything worked. So I'm gonna be very sad that this is ending, but I'm not mad. I know a lot of people are there already posting. We know that they've got the Resistance fate. They told them to wrap up early. It wasn't supposed to be 3 seasons. They would just understand not wanting things to end, but it's been a great ride. At some point, it has to end. And again, we'll see how the finale goes, wrapping everything up and setting the future. I think it's a good time. If it ends, if the finale hits, that we said a couple of weeks ago, Star Wars Animation knows how to do finales. I'm not worried that we're gonna come out of this saying they should have done another season, or they need another 4 or 5 episodes to wrap everything up. I hope that we don't get that. I don't think that we will. No, people are, what's going to be the runtime? Is it going to be 23 minutes? Is it going to be a double episode, 44 minutes? Is it going to be an hour? 35 maybe is what I'm envisioning. It'll be a little bit longer. Some of the others, I don't think will go past 40 minutes. It obviously won't be 60. I'll be surprised if it's in the 25, 27 range. I'll be surprised. So probably over half an hour. So between 35 and 40 minutes. And I think you can do a lot. This show has shown how much you can get in a 22-minute episode. So add another 10 or 15 for the finale. I think they can wrap all of those. Again, it depends what your expectations are and what are they going to wrap up. Right now, it's rescuing Omega, rescuing the rest of the clones of those kids, and figuring out what happens with Project Necromancer. I think those are the big 3. And then if the last 2 or 3 minutes are them on Pabu just kind of chilling, and maybe someone arrives at the end, someone that we know, and you think, oh, this connects with something happens in the future, then it's fine. So again, all the trust in the world for that creative group. So yeah, next week, the end of the Bad Batch. Can't believe we're saying that. Bad Batch restarted. You guys know this better than I am, as this unfinished Clone Wars arc. And then they finally were able to do it with season 7 of the Clone Wars when it came back. You know, that backdoor pilot, if you want, to the Bad Batch show. And then we got 3 great seasons. So 2 good ones for me and a 3rd great one. So I can't ask for more, just a great finale. So we'll see. So that's it for the Bad Batch. And next week, we'll be talking a lot about it. All right. So to kind of wrap the day up, I think I mentioned it last week. I've been reading Wraith Squadron, X-Wing by Aaron Allstone. And these are part of that Essential Legends Collection audiobook that they've been re-releasing these past few years, and then also doing the audiobooks. Shout out and big thanks to Penguin Random House Audio for sending me some review copies. I hadn't gotten to this book because I got this around the same time that I got The Living Force, and The Living Force obviously kind of took precedence. And then I finally sat down to listen to Wraith Squadron by Aaron Allstone. Again, Mark Thompson does all the voiceover. And even though I had some issues with previous Legends audiobooks, I'm extremely surprised how much I enjoyed this book. It was a great read from beginning to end, or a great listen. Just out of the way as always. The music is great, the special effects, the sound effects, everything works. It's a little bit funny when you have the heroes doing something heroic, and the music that is playing is the Trade Federation music. Then. It's kind of weird, but it works because there's a great soundtrack. But it's a simple story, but with great characters, and that's what I've been missing by some of the other audiobooks that kind of drawn out. They're so long, and I haven't really connected with the characters. This one, no, and there's like 12 characters here. Of course, there's some main ones, but they were great. So we got mostly, you saw it there in the cover. We have West Jans. I mean, Wedge Antilles is kind of the main one that we'll know. West Janson is there. We get brief appearances by Hobby, Han Solo, Princess Leia. Admiral Akbar plays a role. Let's say it's not the one in the. He might be the one in the cover. There's another Mon Calamari there. His niece, I think it is. But it goes to what we know is this New Republic era. There are Imperial remnants out there. There's warlords all causing chaos everywhere. Now that the New Republic is trying to rebuild, so all these Imperial remnants and these warlords that still have some TIE fighters, and one of them has an Imperial Star Destroyer, and all these Imperial cruisers trying to carve their way in. But so Wedge goes to Admiral Akbar to say, "Hey, I need a new squadron out there. It's different to Rogue Squadron, which was this X-wing pilot that also needed to be kind of commandos in case there's some groundwork. I need to inverse that. So we get some commandos that can do the groundwork. We got snipers, we got slicers, we got all these other people that can also fly an X-wing in case we need to hightail it out of there. But it's formed out from troublemakers, rejects, screw-ups, people that are the last line. If they don't make it here, some of them are in jail. I think some of them are Imperials that turned face at the end of the war. But you connect with those characters, and we'll get to that in a minute. So they're on the hunt for this warlord Sinja or Jinja and ex-Imperial Admiral Trijet. So they've been doing hit and run on new Imperial bases, new Imperial squadrons. And the New Republic is kind of, hey, we gotta do something about it. And Wedge is, let me get my squadron and we'll go after them. At the beginning, it starts with this Admiral Trijet and his TIE fighters kind of destroying this Talon squadron from the New Republic, and we get one of the survivors joins this new Wraith squadron. What I love about this book that I said is the connection with the characters. Reminded me about Alphabet Squadron. Alphabet Squadron, even though it's mainly 5, the main cast, of course, and Hera Syndulla's there. It's how you connect. Yeah, it's about this TIE fighter, 212 or whatever it was, TIE fighter squadron and Alphabet Squadron just going back and forth. But it's how you connect to those characters. So when you get those starfighter battles, then you're feeling it. You don't want those characters to die. So to a lesser extent, I love Alpha Squadron more than this. Although Alpha Squadron is a trilogy, this one I've only listened to one book. I know there's more. But it's you connect with all these characters before they get into an X-wing or before they have to infiltrate a base. So when you get to those tense moments, you're feeling tense for those characters. So I just mentioned the ones that we know, like Wedge, Hobby, Akbar, Janson. Those are the ones that we know. But the main characters, we have Kel Trainer, Min Donos, who's the only survivor from the Talon Squadron that gets destroyed at the beginning. One of my favorites is this Gamorrean pilot named Piggy. We got a Bothan Slicer, Grinder, Tyria Sarkin, Runt, which is this alien with different minds. It's almost like different personalities, where he has his pilot mind and his normal mind, and they all act differently. And they have some great voices. Face, which is this actor that wanted to be an X-wing pilot, and he's not stealing them, but I don't know, whatever, it's actor turned pilot, and he had to use his acting skills. It's a great collection of characters. Everyone's different. This is one of my favorite Mark Thompson voiceovers. Like I had some trouble recently with some of his choices for some of the characters, but here everyone works. The especially female characters in the past, and like it sounds like a 40 plus man trying to do a 20-year-old woman. Here all of them work. All the voices for the alien characters work. As soon as he does Akbar, you know that's Akbar. You don't need to listen to anything else. Um, the sorry, the the Bothan Grinder has a great voice, but so anyway, after they capture one of Sinja's cruiser, they destroy the commander there, which is this Imperial whatever. So they said we're gonna pose as the crew in hopes of infiltrating Sinja's kind of operation, and do as they go doing that, they find out that this warlord is basically has the same tactics that the rebellion had at the beginning. All these different cells, not really connected just by him, but they don't know each other. So if the New Republic gets to one and destroys it, his operation still works because nothing connects to each one of them. So very rebel-like. So they see that and they say, hey, the only way to get closer is just to do all these stops. So this cruiser was going to all these different stops to keep doing Shinja's bidding. So let's just keep doing them. We'll impersonate the crew. We have Face, who's an actor, and they do basically some deep fake, some Star Wars deep fake. So people, if they have to do a hologram, they can just superimpose the commander that was there that they're impersonating over Face, and then he can just act through it with a voice decoder, whatever. So it works great. It's funny as it goes along, and it just goes on and on. And of course, through all this, there's ground battles, there's space battles. All that is very intense. But as they start going planet to planet and we see everything that's going on and we learn more about this warlord's operation, we start learning more about each character. And that's when you fall in love with the characters, like Kel Trainer. We know his dad was killed he was shot down by Wes Jansen back in the rebellion days because he kind of Top Gun couldn't hack it, and then was trying to just leave. And hey, if the Empire gets a hold of him, they can just extract information. We're all kind of screwed. So Wes unfortunately had to kill Trainer's dad, and then Kill Trainer held this against against Jansen for decades. They had to change their family name, and every time he sees Wes, he thinks Wes is gonna kill him. So there's that great kind of battle there just between them, and Wes on his end thinks that every time he turns his back, Kel is gonna kill him. So we got that's great character work there. Piggy, which I mentioned, is this Gamorrean pilot. He's a Gamorrean pilot, just be there. He was tortured and experimented on by the Empire, trying to take out all the Gamorrean kind of violence, I guess, just to make it less Gamorrean, more docile. He spoke through this voculator basic, and what you get the Gamorrean grunts first, and then the voice. One of my favorite, again, Mark Thompson voice acting work, and Piggy became one of my favorites. Grinder, who loved to do pranks, and then we get a whole chapter, almost or half the back half of one chapter and the front half of the next one, about all this turning against him. Well, he thinks that deadly insect has been put in his cabin. He's going to die. He thinks he's going crazy, and they're just playing a prank on him because he tried to play a prank on someone else. And you might be, well, I don't care, just get me to the story. No, this is what makes all those characters feel like characters, especially because there have been two instances before that something had happened. No one knew who did it. Or it's Grinder trying to play pranks in this way that no one else really understood. We had Tyria, like I mentioned, who has this love connection with Kel, which takes time. It builds up and makes sense when it happens. But she was always at the bottom of all her classes, all the training exercises. She's always at the bottom. And then we get Grinder again. He's the slicer. Hey, I can just change the grades or change the points, and you'll be up. And then she beats the crap out of him because on her previous squad, that she was her previous class, the instructor says who'll do something similar if she helped him steal some X-Wings so he can sell them in the black market. So again, it takes its time to build all these characters, so when the end comes, or as it builds to it, you feel that connection to them. And all of them have different connections to it. We have Jasmine Akbar, again, who's Admiral Akbar's niece, who thought that she only got to where she got because of her last name, all that connection. Dorian, Min Donos, like I mentioned, he was the leader of Talon Squadron. He's the only human survivor. And then he again, a great PTSD and survivor's guilt for being the only one there. But he also has the droid that survives. So the droid is actually the last member of his squadron. And when the droid gets hurt, he just goes into depression. You don't understand why until you learn that. So you build all these great characters that when they get into their X-Wings and the TIE fighters and all the battle starts, now you're invested in them. So again, Aaron also did a great job in building each character, having so many characters, to when the action comes, you feel for them. Unfortunately, some of them died and you feel bad for it. Again, great writing job, great voiceover job by Mark Thompson. I guess the music and the special effects, everything works. Great space battle. And it kind of ends knowing that there's more books in this series. Well, they deal with Admiral Trijet. They don't get to Warlord Sinjas. He's still doing his stuff, but they're going to it. It's not like, we'll let someone else. No, they're building to it. So really great book. I really want to push it out there. If you like Alphabet Squadron, if you like all these space battles, if you love gonna get into Legends book, I think this is a good one. Even if you don't do the audiobooks, I think it's a good choice to try this one. Chapters are like 35 minutes, more or less, which isn't too bad. I could listen to a chapter on my way to work, listen to another at lunch, another on my way back. So, great book. Check it out there. I do recommend it. Wraith Squadron, X-Wing by Aaron Allstone. Give it a chance. It's a good read out there. All right. So, I am done for today. Let me take this off, and I see our friend. I hit the wrong one. Our friend Kilps Film Melbourne. I don't want to leave you out. We're talking episode 15 have 2-part episode instead of 25 minutes. I was thinking about that because last season, going back, and now we're back with Bad Batch. Last season finale was a 2-parter, so it kind of makes sense. You got a 20-minute part 1, 20-minute part 2, then okay, it's fine. 2025, you got a 45 to 50-minute episodes. Finale, that works. I want to say maybe season 1 wasn't like that, but I can't remember. I didn't check how long the finale for season 1 was, but we'll see. Season 3 can be just one episode, but it's a longer episode, that 40 minutes, so we kind of think 35 to 40 makes sense. Kind of surprised that they didn't go with the 2-part finale. Kind of makes sense, but we'll see. We'll see what happens next week when we get that. So again, thanks to Clips Films Melbourne, thanks to Dale, thanks to Brennan. Again, check us out. We're gonna be with Brennan on his podcast, Patients That Were Not, next week. We'll record next week and then we'll be released later on. And then Otto will be back next week for a talk on the Bad Batch finale. We'll try to get through all 6 episodes of Tales of the Empire. And again, I'll say it again. Send us, if you're not, put it down in the comments now, or send us on Twitter, DM, whatever you want, and I'll post it later this week. What are you doing on May 4th? What are some of your traditions for May 4th? Are you going to go see The Phantom Menace? Do you always watch your favorite Star Wars movie? Do you go to Galaxy's Edge? What are some of your Star Wars May 4th traditions? I will discuss them here live next week. All right, guys. Anything else? I don't think so. But as always, I'm so glad to hear you guys. Can't wait for next week for the Bad Batch finale and to keep talking Star Wars. So, thanks for joining us this week. We'll see you next week. Stay safe. Be safe. May the Force be with you. See you guys. Punch it, Chewie.